Chosen one, here is your miracle sequence. Feel it. You are entering a divine alignment where nothing from your past limits you, and nothing in your present can stop the unfolding of what is already written in your favor. This is not a random moment. This is not just another day, it's the beginning of your miracle sequence, a chain of divinely orchestrated events designed to guide you toward the life you are destined for. It will not happen the way your human mind expects, but it will arrive in a way that makes you realize heaven has been building it silently for you over the years. Every challenge you've faced, every delay you've endured, every unanswered prayer you've cried over has been part of your positioning. Now, your alignment is perfect. Your mind is on the right frequency, and doors are opening. Once this begins, nothing can reverse it. For what has been decreed over you is untouchable by opposition, immune to sabotage, and unstoppable by any force that would try to delay you. Chosen one, watch this video until the end, because the energy you carry, as you listen, will amplify what is about to unfold in your life. Write in the comments your deepest wishes for yourself and for others, and add the number X9. This number is a leap of completion and divine multiplication. When you project your wishes into the world with faith, they begin to move. It connects to the energy of other believers, creating a vibration so strong that it charges the universe to send you blessings, opportunities, and miracles. This is not superstition, it is alignment, intention, and spiritual law working in harmony. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you aren't already, and let's begin. Focus on what I am about to reveal, because your miracle sequence is not just a single blessing. It is a series, a flow, an unbroken chain of divine intervention, each link building upon the last dot. This is why, once it starts, it seems never to end. One phone call will lead to another. One opportunity will open the door to something greater. An unexpected moment will unlock the answer to a problem you thought would take years to solve. This sequence is designed for the pieces to fit seamlessly. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to chase it. You won't even have to convince anyone. It will come to you as if it was always meant for you, because it was. The first thing to understand is that a miracle sequence is not built overnight. The universe has prepared every step for you in hidden places, in conversations you weren't part of, in hearts that will soon favor you without knowing why. You may have felt forgotten in certain seasons, but it wasn't neglected, it was protection, while you were kept away from certain people, places, or decisions. The alignment of your sequence was being shaped so perfectly that nothing could contaminate it. When it begins, it will carry a momentum that feels supernatural, because it is. You will feel as though you've entered another timeline, where everything accelerates, where doors don't just open, they swing wide without you having to touch them. This is why your season of preparation was so intense. You had to go through refinement, purification, even isolation. You had to face moments where nothing made sense, because if you had seen the full picture too soon, you might have tried to force or control it. But a miracle sequence is not controlled by human hands. It flows in divine timing. The waiting was the soil where the roots of your blessings grew deep, and now the fruit is ready to appear all at once, as if it was waiting behind the curtain for the exact signal to step onto the stage. You will notice something in the early stages of your miracle sequence. Small, seemingly insignificant signs will begin to appear. People you haven't spoken to in years will suddenly reach out. An old opportunity you thought was lost will reappear, but this time, bigger and better. A delay that frustrated you months ago will reveal itself as the very thing that protected you and made way for something greater. This is not coincidence, is the sequence unfolding. Each step will be proof that the universe, God, and divine order are all in agreement about your elevation, and as the sequence progresses, you'll notice that every blessing has the power to attract the next. It will be like dominoes, one pushing the other without pause. A financial breakthrough will create the freedom for you to accept a new opportunity. That opportunity will connect you to someone who introduces you to your next level of influence. That influence will place you in a room you never thought you'd reach. And from there, more doors will appear. This is why I call it a sequence bait, because it is designed to multiply, not stop. You may wonder, why now? Why not earlier? The answer is that you are now fully aligned with who you must be to carry this. Your mindset is stronger. Your discernment is sharper. You no longer chase what drains you or settle for crumbs. You've learned to protect your energy, your vision, and your spirit. This means that when the sequence begins, you won't sabotage it. You will nurture it, expand it, and sustain it for years, maybe even for the rest of your life. This is why the timing is perfect, because you are finally the one who can receive without fear and retain without loss. But here's what's important. When the first miracle in the sequence arrives, do not underestimate it even if it seems small. Treat it as if it is the greatest thing you've ever received. This gratitude will signal that you are ready for the next step. The sequence is sensitive to your energy. If you complain or doubt, you slow it down. If you celebrate and remain expectant, you speed it up. This is why you must stay in a state of constant gratitude, even for small victories, because in the sequence, there is no such thing as a small blessing. Each one is a bridge to the next. You will also notice that when your miracle sequence begins, certain people will try to re-enter your life. Be careful here. Not everyone who shows up is meant to stay. Some will be distractions sent to pull you out of alignment. Others will be true connections meant to help you move forward. Your discernment will be tested. This is why you must protect your focus. Do not engage in unnecessary battles. Do not waste energy defending yourself to those determined to misunderstand you. The sequence does not ask you to prove anything. It asks you to keep moving. In the coming days, you will feel a shift in the air around you. It will feel lighter, more charged, as if something is vibrating beneath the surface. This is the vibration of your miracle sequence building. You will sleep differently. You will wake differently. Even your thoughts will begin to align effortlessly with the reality you want to live. You will see patterns, repeated numbers, familiar songs, random phrases, all confirming you are on the right path. These are not just signs, they are milestones showing you are moving exactly where you are meant to be. Your miracle sequence will also bring what I call overflow moments, blessings, so unexpected and abundant that they spill into other areas of your life. This means that even if you prayed for one specific thing, the sequence will bring you more than you asked for. You might pray for a job and receive an entirely new career. You might ask for peace in one area and find it in every part of your life. This is the beauty of this process. It doesn't just answer prayers, it multiplies them. This is not the time to doubt. It is the time to stay aligned and let the current carry you. You don't need to know every step in advance. You only need to recognize that you are in motion and that this motion is guided. Once the first blessing arrives, you are already in the sequence, and from there, the momentum will be unstoppable. It will feel like life is finally working for you, visibly, undeniably, unshakably. And I tell you this, years from now, you'll look back on this season and realize it was the turning point. It was the moment everything began to connect, the moment you felt the shift and followed it. And because you stayed faithful to the process, the sequence didn't just change your life, it transformed everything connected to you. The miracle sequence doesn't slow down once it starts, it accelerates. Part of why it feels overwhelming when you're in it is that things that once took years to develop now happen in weeks, even days. It's like stepping into a current that's already moving fast. The current carries you forward without you needing to push. You'll notice that events don't happen in isolation. They are linked, each one creating the perfect conditions for the next. This is the very nature of a divine sequence. The steps have been pre-written to fit together naturally without you having to force them. This is why. Once it begins, you'll feel like your life is finally moving in the rhythm it was always meant to have. What you must understand here is that a miracle sequence is not fragile. It cannot be broken by the doubts of others or the resistance of those who don't understand you. The foundation is too solid because it was built in the unseen realm long before it appeared in your reality. Even if someone tried to interfere, they would only become part of the plan. This is why you don't need to waste time worrying about sabotage. What is yours will remain yours. You are no longer in a place where blessings are fragile. You are in a place where they are reinforced by divine intent. At this stage, your perception will shift. Things that once stressed you will suddenly feel smaller. You will look at obstacles and realize they are nothing compared to the momentum you're in. This is because the sequence changes your focus. Instead of seeing problems as dead ends, you'll start seeing them as signals that a greater solution is already on the way. You will no longer be as shaken by delays because you'll know from experience that every pause is just preparation for a bigger movement. This is a completely different mindset from the one you had before, and it is exactly this mindset that allows the sequence to unfold without interruption in the coming days. You will encounter what I call connection points moments, where a blessing appears, and you realize it couldn't have existed without the one before it. For example, meeting someone in a place you never would have gone if the first door hadn't opened, or discovering a skill within yourself that you never would have used if you hadn't been placed in a specific situation. Every connection point is proof that nothing in your life has been random. Every event has been designed to bring you here. The sequence is, at its core, a divine chain reaction. There will also be expansions in the sequence moments, where one blessing multiplies into several at once. This could look like solving a financial problem, only to see 3 new opportunities appear as a result, or healing a relationship and, in the same season, discovering new friendships, professional breakthroughs, and personal growth you never expected. This is because the sequence doesn't just move forward, it expands outward. It touches parts of your life you didn't even realize needed transformation. But with expansion comes responsibility. You will be handed opportunities that will demand your discernment. Not every offer, invitation, or connection is meant for you. The sequence will bring you clarity. You listen, you will feel it. Some things will align so naturally they'll seem effortless, while others will feel heavy or forced. Your role is to follow the flow, not the force. Anything that requires you to break your peace, compromise your values, or shrink yourself is not part of your sequence. No matter how shiny it looks on the surface. Another thing to prepare for. The miracle sequence will reveal who is truly for you and who is only there for what they could take. When your blessings start piling up, watch how people respond. Some will celebrate you sincerely, their joy matching yours. Others will grow quiet, distant, even critical. Don't take this personally. The sequence is also cleansing your atmosphere. It is removing people who would have disrupted the next stages of your growth. This isn't rejection, it is refinement. The further you go in this process, the more you'll realize the sequence isn't just about material blessings. It is about alignment with your higher self. You'll find your intuition sharpening, your inner voice growing clearer, and your ability to make decisions without fear becoming stronger. You'll feel more connected to your purpose. And as this happens, the miracles you experience will feel less like surprises and more like confirmations of what you already sensed deep inside. And here's something important. The sequence thrives on momentum. This means you cannot afford to slip back into the habits, environments, or thought patterns of your old season. You must treat your energy as sacred. Protect your mornings because how you start your day sets the tone for what unfolds. Speak over your life intentionally because your words will shape how blessings develop. Surround yourself with people and environments that match the vibration of where you're going, not where you've been. As this sequence continues, you'll notice moments where it feels like you've reached the peak and, yet somehow, it keeps getting better. This is because there are layers to this alignment. Every peak is just a preview of the next. You'll think it can't get any bigger and then the next stage arrives, showing you there was always more coming. This is how you'll know it's a miracle sequence, and not just a streak of luck, because it will keep outdoing itself without losing momentum. And finally, understand this. Your miracle sequence is not just for you. It will overflow into the lives of those connected to you. Family, friends, even strangers will be blessed just by being near you in this season. Your presence will carry the energy of alignment, and others will feel it. Some will be inspired. Others will be healed. Some will be set on their own path of transformation just from witnessing yours. The further you go in your miracle sequence, the more you'll realize it is not a straight line. It is a living, intelligent flow that knows exactly where to take you next. This is not something you can predict with logic because its very design bypasses human calculation. Some mornings, you'll wake up to news that reshapes your entire day, month, or even the direction of your life. You'll feel the sequence weaving through your days, touching unexpected areas and revealing blessings you hadn't even thought to ask for. And this is when you'll begin to understand. The miracle sequence is not just a gift, it is a transformation process. By this stage, you will have already experienced the first wave. This first wave often brings visible blessings, financial breakthroughs, open doors, new opportunities, reconciliations, and unexpected favor. But in the third part of your journey, you enter what I call the deep integration phase. Here, miracles don't just happen around youth, they start happening through you. You become an active participant in the sequence, rather than just a receiver. This means your thoughts, actions, and even your presence become part of the divine chain reaction that attracts even more. You'll notice your mind aligning with possibility instead of fear. Situations that once made you anxious will now excite you because you can sense the hidden potential in them. Opportunities that once intimidated, you will feel natural because you know you are positioned for them. This is the power of living inside a miracle sequence. Your nervous system begins to relax. Your inner voice grows stronger. Your decisions are made from a place of vision rather than desperation. At this stage, something else happens. The sequence begins to rewrite your identity. You will no longer see yourself as someone waiting for life to finally work out. You will begin to see yourself as someone actively shaping reality alongside divine timing. This shift alone is powerful because identity determines outcome. When you see yourself as capable, worthy, and aligned, your energy reflects it. The sequence responds by accelerating, but you must also prepare for what I call pressure points, moments where you will be tested, not by lack, but by abundance. Can you handle more than you expected? Can you stay focused when multiple blessings arrive at once? Can you manage opportunities without feeling overwhelmed or distracted? The sequence will always test your capacity before expanding it further. If you prove you can handle what you've received, the flow will expand. If you become negligent, the flow will slow, not as punishment, but as recalibration. The miracle sequence, in this phase, also has a habit of closing things. The unresolved fragments of your past will suddenly be tied up. Debts will be erased, legal matters resolved, misunderstandings corrected, and unfinished projects completed. These closures are not random. They are necessary to free your energy for what comes next. You cannot carry unfinished business into the higher stages of the sequence without it weighing you down. This is why certain situations will suddenly resolve without you having to force them. And as these resolutions happen, you'll begin to experience what I call compound blessings, moments where two or more areas of your life transform simultaneously. You might notice that as your career thrives, your personal relationships strengthen, or as your finances improve, your health also begins to align. The miracle sequence does not like working in isolation. It prefers to transform multiple layers of your life at once, ensuring the transformation is balanced and lasting. The key in this part of the sequence is trust. Trust the rhythm. Trust the rhythm. Trust the REDIRECTIONS. Trust the doors that open and those that close. If something slips away during this time, it's because it's not part of the chain reaction leading to your ultimate outcome. Clinging to what no longer fits will create resistance, and resistance slows momentum. You'll also begin to see how the sequence impacts those around you. In real time, your energy will inspire others to change. Your success will create opportunities for them. Your breakthrough will serve as proof that theirs is possible too. This isn't a side effect, it's part of the design. The sequence is always bigger than one person. It's meant to ripple outward. Most importantly, this phase will deepen your awareness that the miracle sequence is not luck, coincidence, or a temporary peak. It is a deliberate alignment between your preparation and divine orchestration. Every day inside this sequence feels different from the ones before, because you're evolving within it, and as you evolve, the miracles match your new level. When you reach this stage of your miracle sequence, something profound shifts. It no longer feels like a temporary wave, it begins to feel like your new normal. Blessings, opportunities, and breakthroughs no longer come as isolated surprises. They weave into the fabric of your daily life. This is the stabilization phase, where what began as a sudden surge of miracles becomes a constant, reliable reality. The key to understanding this stage is recognizing that stability does not mean stagnation. It means miracles no longer shock you. Because you're so deeply aligned that you expect them. You no longer live in anxiety over whether it will happen again. You live in the certainty that it already isn't, that more is coming. This is a powerful psychological shift because expectation is magnetic. When you truly believe something is part of your life, you act, speak, and move in a way that naturally keeps it flowing toward you. In this part of your sequence, you'll notice your blessings begin to layer. A foundation is laid. Then another is built on top. For example, a financial opportunity arrives and, instead of spending it all to relieve past struggles, you use it to create multiple income streams. A new relationship brings not just emotional fulfillment, but also opens doors to collaborations, networks, and experiences that expand your life in ways you hadn't imagined. Each layer reinforces the next, creating a structure that cannot be easily shaken. You'll also find your discernment sharpens even further. At this stage, you've seen enough of the sequence to know what belongs and what doesn't. Single quotes. This means you won't waste time entertaining what drains you or slows your momentum. People who try to pull you back into old patterns will no longer have the same access to you. You'll decline invitations that don't match your direction without guilt. You'll protect your energy, not because you're defensive, but because you understand what fuels the sequence. Something else happens here. Your definition of miracles begins to evolve. At first, miracles may have looked like big dramatic events, but in this phase, you start seeing miracles in the subtleties. The perfectly timed conversation. The way a problem resolves before you're even aware of it. Waking up each day in peace and clarity. You realize these small miracles are actually the glue holding the bigger ones together. Without them, the major breakthroughs wouldn't be sustainable. And perhaps one of the most beautiful things about this stage is the sense of overflow. Blessings in your life will naturally spill over to others. Without you even trying, you'll be able to help your family, support your friends, contribute to causes, inspire strangers simply by living your truth. People will tell you your energy feels different, lighter, more magnetic, more reassuring. It's because you're no longer just living in your miracle sequence. You are the sequence. You've become a walking signal of alignment, and everywhere you go, you carry this frequency with you. But with this expansion comes another layer of responsibility. The responsibility to maintain the vibration that brought you here. This means continuing the habits, mindset, and gratitude that set the sequence in motion in the first place. It's easy to grow comfortable and assume it will always flow without your attention, but even divine momentum thrives on intentionality, staying consistent in your focus, keeping your vision clear, nourishing your inner world. This ensures the sequence doesn't just last a season, but becomes permanent. In this stage, life begins to feel effortless in a way that once seemed impossible. You're no longer chasing, you're receiving. You're no longer overanalyzing, you're flowing. You're no longer wondering if you're in the right place. You know you are. And because you know, you move differently. You make decisions without fear. You act on inspiration without hesitation. You trust the unfolding without needing to see every detail. In this phase of your miracle sequence, you begin to realize something profound. This was never just about you. The blessings, opportunities, and breakthroughs you've received are now multiplying beyond your immediate life, reaching places you've never been and touching people you may never meet. This is the multiplication phase, and it carries a different kind of power. Up to now, the focus was on your personal alignment, preparation, and ability to sustain miracles. But now, the momentum is so strong that it begins creating ripples. A decision you make can positively impact dozens. An opportunity you accept can open doors for others. A blessing in your life can inspire a chain reaction of blessings in the lives of those connected to you. This is when you start to understand. Your miracle sequence is part of a far greater orchestration, one that extends far beyond what you can see. At this stage, your influence becomes currency. People begin noticing how you move, how you speak, how you navigate your blessings. Without even realizing it, you become a living example of what's possible. Those who once doubted will grow quiet, not because you argued with them, but because your life itself has become the proof. This silent influence can be more powerful than any speech or debate. It speaks directly to the hearts of those watching. Your opportunities will also take on a different nature. They won't just be for your benefit. They'll be designed for impact. A business offered to you might create jobs for others. A creative project might reach people who needed its message. A collaboration could become the bridge for someone else's breakthrough. In this phase, the sequence intentionally places you where blessings can multiply without limit. However, multiplication comes with a test. The test of capacity. Can you handle expansion without losing your center? Can you give without draining yourself? Can you keep receiving without growing complacent? The sequence will measure your ability to balance generosity with wisdom. This means learning when to give on, when to replenish, when to open doors for others, and when to close them for protection. Multiplication is powerful, but only if it's sustainable. Another key feature of this stage is what I call echo blessings. These are results that return to you unexpectedly from seeds you planted long ago, often in seasons when you felt you had little to offer. It could be a favor repaid years later, an old idea resurfacing with new value, a past relationship reappearing with an offer that changes everything. These echoes are proof that no good thing you've done was wasted. Every act of faith, kindness, or perseverance becomes part of the grand chain reaction. You'll also notice your environment begins shifting effortlessly. People around you will start evolving not because you force them, but because your presence raises the standard. Conversations will change. Ideas will expand. Even the energy in your home or workspace will feel different. This is what happens when your frequency is consistently high. Everything around you must either rise to match or fade away. Naturally, in this multiplication phase, time itself feels different. You'll accomplish in months what once took years. You'll recover from setbacks faster. You'll move through decisions with greater clarity. And because the sequence is now deeply rooted in your life, even challenges will feel like preparations for the next wave of blessing. You'll no longer see interruptions as threats, you'll recognize them as divine redirections keeping the multiplication in motion. Here's the most powerful part. In this phase, the sequence begins outlasting the present moment. The moves you make now will create effects that endure long after the initial blessing arrives. You'll lay foundations others can build on. You'll create systems, opportunities, and pathways that serve people for years to come. This is when your miracle sequence takes the form of legacy. It's no longer just about the sequence that changed your life. It's about the sequence that will change lives. You may never even know. This final stage of your miracle sequence is the point where it becomes permanent. It's no longer something that feels like a special season or an extraordinary wave that could end. It's now the natural rhythm of your life. You've moved from waiting for miracles to living in a constant state of miracles. This is the establishment phase where your blessings aren't just sustained, but fortified so deeply that they form the unshakable foundation of your future. At this stage, you've lived through the initial spark, the integration, the stabilization, the multiplication. Now, you're in a position where your entire reality has been rewritten. You're no longer just someone who received a miracle. You are someone who embodies it. Everything about you carries the energy of divine alignment. Your words, your presence, your decisions, you radiate the frequency of someone permanently connected to the flow of favor. One of the most powerful realizations in this phase, you no longer fear losing what you've gained. There's no anxiety about falling back to where you once were because you now understand. Miracles aren't random events, they're reflections of your alignment. And alignment is a choice you keep making every day. This gives you a calm, unshakable confidence. You know that even if circumstances shift, the flow will always return because you are the anchor for it. In this stage, blessings have matured into structures, opportunities have become long-term. Platforms. Financial breakthroughs have transformed into lasting stability. Relationships have deepened into lifelong alliances. What once felt like temporary gifts are now permanent parts of your reality. And the beauty is you're no longer chasing the next big moment. You're building, planting, and expanding from a place of abundance, not desperation. This is also the stage where the generational impact of your sequence becomes undeniable. The decisions you make now won't just affect youth, they'll shape those who come after you. You might set up financial systems, creative works, businesses, or community efforts that continue blessing others long after you're gone. Your miracle sequence stops being a personal event and becomes a framework of legacy. You're no longer just enjoying the fruit, you're planting entire orchards for the future. You'll also notice that at this level, your discernment is frighteningly precise. Because you've been through every phase of the sequence. You can instantly sense when something is aligned and when it's not. This protects the flow from disruption, ensuring only the right people, opportunities, and energies enter your space. You've learned that boundaries aren't about pushing people away, they're about keeping the frequency of your life pure, so miracles can continue uninterrupted. Perhaps the deepest change in this stage is internal. Your entire self-definition has transformed. You no longer see yourself through the lens of past struggles. The person who doubted, hesitated, or felt unworthy no longer exists. You fully stepped into the identity of someone who is chosen, aligned, and capable of handling infinite blessings. You walk differently, you speak differently, you think differently, not out of arrogance, but from a deep knowing. You are in permanent partnership with the flow of divine order.